Hey loves, it's your relationship coach Janelle, and welcome to another episode of Response and React. So, Taylor Swift dropped her new album, and it's giving final boss pick me energy. Specifically, the song Opalite seems to take direct shots at Travis Kelce's black ex, Kayla Nicole, and honestly, the racial undertones are very loud. From subtle digs about bad bitches to lyrics that contrast onyx nights with opal skies, Taylor might just be using her music to shade the very women she feels most threatened by. Let's get into it, because this isn't just about celebrity drama. It's about insecurity, white femininity, and the way black women are constantly villainized in dating narratives. Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like and subscribe, and if you want to dive deeper into dating dynamics and emotional awareness, join my exclusive coffee coaching community for interactive prompts and real-world relationship insight.
Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women. Let's talk about it. Taylor Swift is obsessed with the fact that several of her exes have moved on to date black women, and she perceives this kind of conquering of Travis as an end or disruption of this pattern, and she's boasting about it in this album. Let's start with Opalite, which is very clearly about Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex-boyfriend whom he dated off and on from 2017 to 2022, and oh, Kayla Nicole happens to be black. The lyrics in Opalite could actually not be clearly more like targeting Kayla Nicole, right? It references a video that went viral a couple times in which Travis is literally berating Kayla for being on her phone. Meanwhile, she is an influencer, so that is weirdo behavior because she was working and it's very controlling, but it is very clear nonetheless that that video is referenced in Opalite. The lyric reads, "You couldn't understand it, why you felt alone, you were in it for real, she was in her phone, and you were just a pose," right? Like, Taylor could not have been more obvious and like less creative here. It's not enough to me that like Taylor is using this like crazy like worldwide medium to best a woman that like previously dated her ex. It's also the fact that like Taylor is fully aware that Kayla has received like relentless and racist harassment, oftentimes terrifying, from Swifties in reaction to the fact that she previously dated Travis. So like this is like purposefully and like blatantly violent. This song accomplishes two things at once, right? It proves the fact that Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women, and it endangers Kayla Nicole. But obviously our country is not at its best with critical thinking, so let's like analyze a different part of the song, right? So another lyric says, "But I'm not a bad bitch, and this ain't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." So in this song, Taylor positions herself as this like unique, singular white flower that is so different from what? Black culture. And once you step back and realize the song is like final boss pick me ex racism, you realize that Taylor Swift is preoccupied with like this obsession with black women, in part because Travis Kelce has predominantly dated black women in the past, and she wants to define herself as different from his past and therefore better. Again, very weird, very pick-me behavior. Taylor's not only preoccupied with this idea that Travis has historically dated black women, it's also the reality that several of her exes have moved on from her to black women. And that confounds and ultimately like enrages her, and she's so obsessed with the pattern and the idea that she had to talk about it in this album. Chris, give me examples. Okay, well, we have Harry Styles, who is now reportedly dating Zoe Kravitz. We have Tom Hiddleston, who has moved on to be engaged to and co-parent with a black woman whose name is Zawe Ashton. And then we have Calvin Harris, who went on to marry a black woman named Vic Hope. So it is a pattern, and Taylor Swift is clearly aware of it because she is obsessed with her exes, and all of that together is making me feel very, very strange. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today I'd argue that this idea, the idea that white men have historically left Taylor Swift for black women, is part of her personal mythos, right? I imagine she finds it both confounding and devastating that these men have left her, who is like the pinnacle of Western white beauty, right? She is the ideal white woman. Meanwhile, all of these white guys are leaving her for black women, and I'm sure it's really pissing her off. So when Taylor like secured Travis, she achieved the ultimate feat in her mind. She had convinced a white man to leave black women for her, and the mythos is complete. She has disrupted the pattern, she is the queen bee yet again, and this album is all about her obsession with that weird mythos and her obsession with black women. At the end of the day, you know and I know that Taylor Swift is a deeply calculated and intentional person, right? She drew up these lyrics and this like 8th grade symbolism very intentionally. It's very red-pilled and incredibly macro-aggressive. So I guess the moral of my story here is like, you Swifties, the ones who refuse to call her out on her bullshit, are the same exact type of white feminist that she is. You protect bigots and you traffic in and like enjoy anti-black bullshit. And that makes you a bad person. All right, bye.
Taylor is diabolical, and I'm going to tell you why. If you go back and listen to this album, you can tell she absolutely wanted it to be one of her most successful pieces of work. And it was all based around the support that she has for her new soon to be husband and reminding not only him, but his past relationships that he made a better decision. Now, Taylor has done this before. She's done this a few times before. And the way she gets away with it is by putting some of her most targeted attacks and some of her most fun songs. And she continued that trend in this album. She did. Have you guys heard Opalite? Opalite is actually a fun song to listen to. But that's the song that has the most direct shot to Travis's ex-girlfriend and anybody who he dated before her. She also tried to be slick in the song if you listen to it. In that first verse, she's supposedly talking to herself. You know, she says, "My mom told me that I was the one going through all this, blah, blah, blah." That's her cover, right? That's what all the fans are running around going, "Hey, no, she's not attacking black women. It's a song about something, blah, blah, blah." It also gives her cover when she does these little interviews and she's like, I'm a character. I'm writing from a perspective of somebody it's all a part of it. Because as you continue in that song, she is no longer talking about herself. She's talking to Travis, and she is reminding him over and over again that his life is better now, that he is not sleepless in the onyx night. Not only that, she makes many references to the fact that his past relationships were not in it with him. They were not genuinely on his side or genuinely trying to support him. Essentially, she is saying that those black girls did not love you the way I am going to love you. That's what she's saying in that song. So I'm sorry, any Swifties who did not catch that or may choose not to catch that. It's a dog whistle. She's very clearly taking shots at black women. And like I said, she's pretty diabolical because she gets away with it by putting it in a fun song that she probably wanted to be the most popular song that everybody was singing all over the country, if not the world.
Republicans are just not figuring out that Taylor Swift was white America's constant reminder that our worst will always be more successful than their best. It's also why country superstars are not global superstars, right? It's also why a bunch of white women woke up really mad at me after my Taylor Swift video went viral. But what are they going to do? Call the cops on me? I'm not black. And I'm online, still trying to tell them that the world's oldest teenager needed to infantilize herself with an NFL player in order to sell colonialist themes of trad wife male dependency to her underage fans. Now we get to watch her go from possession of father to the wife of man in another shitty album that normalizes our mediocrity and supremacy by over-marketing her innocence. We don't have to talk about the fact that she sues everybody if her fans don't care that she sued her first guitar teacher when he tried to put her on his website. They don't care that she tried to... They don't care that when Olivia Rodrigo was 17, she made her give her a writing credit because she said she was inspired by her. Fans already forgot that she had Ice Spice on a leash when she was tokenizing black culture. She used gay culture as a stepping stone when it was profitable in the same way that Katy Perry and Lady Gaga did. It's all the same shit. Only one point. White allyship will always change into whatever form is least threatening at the time. That is what makes it so damaging to oppressed communities. White rappers will always put on a cowboy hat when their album flops because it's easier to grift to the right because the country is filled with racists. Lastly, go back to country and fake southern accents. She said her daddy was a racist when she could grift to the left. And now she's trying to get to Trump's base because there's nowhere she can go. She can't sing. Bye-bye, Taylor.
Like a lot, not all, but like a lot of white women, Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women. And when I say that, I don't mean as like a stalker. Her behavior and how she's conducted herself as a white artist over the years shows that. Every single one of Taylor's exes has dated or left her for a black woman. That's the truth. And we can take this way back when Kanye called her out and basically said Beyonce is better than Taylor because she is. But Kanye was saying that the industry was kind of racist because all the that Album of the Year awards and stuff like that Taylor was getting, Beyonce should have been getting. He couldn't stand the fact that it was true. This is not just a Taylor Swift and Kayla situation. This is a universal situation, because I can say that as a black woman, and I know so many other black women have experienced this before. They date a white man, or they're asked out by a white man, or a white man is interested in them. And that man's ex or other white women around that see them together are jealous, very microaggressive with the comments and the slick stuff they say. Will be stalking your account, all up in your profile views, and then all of a sudden user 3456788WXYZ is in your profile views every other week. I also said this in one of my other videos a few months ago that blew up, about how a lot of white women are jealous of black women. How America tries so hard to push this narrative that blonde hair, blue eyes, and being white is the standard. Whole time, that standard is jealous of us. The last time I spoke about Taylor Swift, Swifties got in my comments and basically said, well, Taylor's a girl's girl. No, she's a girl's girl when it comes to white women. When Kayla was being attacked and racially attacked online, and hate comments and hate posts were being spread about her from Swifties. These are people who have Swiftie in their bio, and they are Taylor Swift fans from Swiftie. As soon as Taylor Swift started dating Travis, not one time did Taylor step up and say, hey, you know what I mean? I understand that's his ex. You don't need that. That's not acceptable. My fans don't do that. My fans shouldn't be doing that. My fans shouldn't act like that. You leave her alone. That's what girls do. So like a lot, not all, white women, she's just another white woman who's jealous of black women, intimidated by black women, and she's trying to do everything she can to validate herself. But she just can't wrap her head around the fact that we're always winning, despite the oppression.
Taylor Swift has revealed herself to be resentful of black women, or at least deeply insecure when it comes to comparing herself to black women. In the song Opalite, Taylor is referencing Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole. The lyrics of Opalite include, "You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night, but now the sky is opalite." So Taylor is not only using the lyrics in the song to talk about how she is so much better for Travis than his ex-girlfriend is, which is inconsiderate on its face. What did that lady ever do to you? But she is choosing to do that using the imagery of onyx, which is typically black, and opalite, which is typically white. Or in Eldest Daughter, Taylor says, "I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." The language of bad bitch and savage are primarily associated with black women, at least in this context, especially black women in hip-hop. Both make me think of Megan Thee Stallion immediately. And there were rumors that Travis was trying to holler at Megan back in 2023, shortly before Travis and Taylor started dating. So I read this lyric as, "Sorry, I'm not a hot, cool black woman like he usually dates." Or in Wishlist, she says they want a fat ass and a baby face. Big booties are not unique to black women, but if we're all being honest here about the associations of black women's bodies over the last 400 years, big booties are and have been associated with black women. Now, could I understand why Taylor might be insecure about this? Yeah. Knowing that thousands, if not millions of people are looking at your man's exes and then looking at you like, huh? Would make me insecure too. But to be even relatively conscious of the trope of white men dating black women until it's time to settle down and have white babies, or the trope of men dating black women until they get richer or more famous, or to know the way that Kayla Nicole has been dragged to hell and back because her high-profile ex, a white man, started a very public relationship with one of the biggest pop stars in the world, a white woman, and how many people hurled racist jokes at her and black women generally for it, to know all that and still dunk on her one more time to your millions of loyal fans. For this to come up on at least 3 different songs in one album, for her to play into harmful tropes that she has to be aware of, and for so many of Taylor's fans to not notice or just not care, this album is simply not for me. There is enough thinly veiled racial resentment in the world toward black women. I don't need it in my pop bops.
They tried to do Taylor Swift Mean Girl. They tried to do Taylor Swift Racist. They tried to do Taylor Swift MAGA Barbie.
Yeah, so the trivialization of what black women have to say about virtually anything angers me deeply, right? But it is especially angering and concerning when it comes from worldly people like the Swiftologist, who are also prideful in the fact that they are critical, period. I don't understand how you can truly feel a sense of pride in being like capable of parsing through things that people look as solids and say, actually, there's many moving parts to this. And that's a skill that's specifically relevant to the art of artistic critique. And so when I see people who review music, people who review films be completely dismissive of racial undertones in virtually anything,
It is really fucking weird to me. And let me preface this by saying, I don't give a fuck how many albums Taylor Swift sells. I, in fact, believe that a healthy music industry is good for any artist, right? However, when it comes from a fandom who basically experiences religious psychosis anytime Taylor Swift does anything, right? I saw comments of her on Jimmy Fallon, and people were losing their minds being like, what do the exit signs mean that she's sitting behind? What do they mean? So when a fandom, primarily of white people, that is known for looking and Nancy Drewing at everything this woman does with a magnifying glass because she has trained them to do so, because there is validity to what they think and feel, are telling a large group of people of color, specifically Black women, that thing you're looking into, you're looking at way too deep, babe. It's not that deep. Throw the whole thing away, right? If this woman is known for breadcrumbing, then don't you think that she would do that in pretty much everything that she does? And don't you think that somebody that has trained themselves to breadcrumb their fandom is also capable of doing it about other things without knowing? Because here's the thing about racism. When it's in your body, you have to let the air out of the tire somehow. And this might just be Taylor's way of doing it. I'm not saying that she's a horrible, heinous, racist person. I am saying that it is extremely bizarre for a large group of people who is known to look at things with maybe virtually no deeper meaning and assign deeper meaning to them because of one person who is creating these things. It's weird for them to just be like, no, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. And also, it is fucking strange and anti-Black, or at least has anti-Black undertones, for the most famous white woman in the world to completely do this at what is essentially Black language, Black culture, via saying, I'm not a bad bitch and this isn't savage. I'm just a girl that's in love with this white man who's on the team and I want to breed and get married. Especially at a time like this. And so it is, as somebody that enjoys the Swiftologist takes on virtually anything, I am, and also that has learned that the Swiftologist is not even an American, right? I find it to be so disheartening when he picks and chooses, and when anybody with a well-trained critical eye picks and chooses what to be critical about because it's simply too dangerous for the narrative that your fave is completely problem-free. And again, I don't think he thinks Taylor Swift is problem-free. He talks about her consistently, sometimes in a negative light, which is good. So I am confused as to why this is something that he's trivializing as like, the Taylor haters tried to call her a racist. It's like, well, maybe, but also there is a genuine subset of Taylor Swift fans who is Black and who has genuine concerns about the things that she's saying in this album. So, fuck y'all.
Let's jump into my favorite part of all of the content I post on YouTube, and that's just my thoughts, where I get to kind of express what I feel about whatever we have read or gone over. So let's get into it. All right, so this is something that I have noticed from very early on in Taylor Swift's career. And of course, Black women are always gaslit or told that they're crazy. But the reality is, and I think it's very prevalent on her current album that was recently released, and that is Taylor Swift has a problem with Black women. It is very weird because she is an international pop superstar, and she gets very weirded out and has always gotten weirded out about comparisons to Beyonce. There is no comparison, in my personal opinion. Beyonce is tenfold the performer and talent that Taylor Swift is. Taylor Swift just happens to be the right complexion to have achieved a certain amount of success, and she had very successful parents who were able to put her on a certain level. And then she has worked, but she was put there to achieve what she has achieved. But anyway, back to my main point. Her current relationship with NFL player Travis Kelce is a huge reflector of that issue that she has. So a little backstory on Travis. Travis Kelce has historically dated pretty much only black women. Or mostly black women. His most recent relationship that ended a little while ago, maybe a couple years ago, before he got in a relationship with Taylor, was with internet personality and all-around baddie, Kayla Nicole. Kayla Nicole, to my understanding, is a Pepperdine University college graduate. She is an entertainment journalist and correspondent. She is a very fit woman. She has celebrity friends. She has her own life. She's doing her own thing. And her working and doing her thing and dating an NFL player was kind of par for the course of the room she's in and the people she relates to. Another thing that's very obvious is like Travis Kelce has lost all the black girl magic and swag that he had when dating Kayla Nicole. He definitely looked like white chocolate when he was with her. Now he just looks like a racist state trooper named Bob. He looks a mess. His swag is gone. The polish is gone. Black girl magic is very real. And when we take our magic back, it's also very noticeable. But anyway, Taylor Swift has gotten on and said some very problematic things in her record, basically shading it's the microaggressions, the gaslighting, the dog whistles in her song. Opalite is one of the songs that particularly comes up where she's talking about an opalite sky and an onyx night, and she wasn't, she's not a bad bitch, and something about savage. That's also insinuation. Those are terms often used in black spaces, in black music, and the problem with it is people want to ignore it on purpose. Now, this is the reality. Taylor cannot come at Kayla Nicole and say she's ugly or she's fat or she's unfit or she's a baby mama. She's none of those things. But Taylor also shows who she really is by the fact that she does not check her fans. When her fans are going after Kayla and being nasty to her, that is exactly what she's okay with. She is the ultimate white girl, and that is who white women aspire to be. Passive aggressive, wanting to stay as childlike as possible in appearance. She is a 35-year-old woman still reciting the lyrics as if she was a forlorn, lovesick teenager. And her lack of growth, her lack of evolution, her bigotry, her, I guess, silent discrimination or hatred toward black people, especially black women, is very prevalent. And that is exactly reflective of who white women want to be. And the ones who adore her and are obsessed with her, that's exactly, they resonate with her, because you're not that happy and just foaming at the mouth and rabid about this person who you cannot resonate with. They resonate with her because they want to be her, and they are her, and they think like her. Now, and Travis is problematic also for allowing this to happen, for not checking Taylor during their relationship to say, my exes don't have anything to do with what we have here. Also, Travis Kelce tried to holler at Megan Thee Stallion at a performance or something before he got serious with Taylor. So that he has a certain type of woman that he likes. So he is dating Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift is a billionaire. I can't hate anybody who is dating a billionaire. That man is about to be a kept man, taken care of and still doing his own thing. But Taylor Swift wants to prove that she is quote unquote better than black women. And that is a very problematic mindset for her to have in general. But at 35, when she could have very easily just dated a white NFL player who had only historically dated white women that looked like her. And here's another thing. Taylor is not the most attractive white woman. Now, when she gets all painted up and done up and makeup done, hair done, yeah, she looks very nice, but she's not a Margot Robbie. She's not a Scarlett Johansson. She's not a Jessica Chastain. Like, there is some bad white women out here that are beautiful. She's not one of them. And her insecurity, as well as her bigotry, she's putting in her music, and she's feeding fans that hold the same sentiments. And it is very dangerous with someone of her level of influence. And I'm going to go a little far out and say something controversial here. Her influence is very similar to that podcaster right-winger who was unalived recently, Charlie Kirk, and the fact that he was saying all these dog whistles and problematic things and hateful things, and he was taken out by the very things that he condoned. So, but the point is, the reason why people were mourning so hard for that man, white people were mourning so hard, it's not because they knew him. It's not even because they had any personal connection to him. It was because they resonated with his messaging. That he was the mouthpiece to say the hateful, bigoted things on their heart, the despicable things on their heart that they could never say in their lives because they understood that there were consequences. But if you feed the beast is going to escape. And that is what we're looking at here. We are seeing that Taylor Swift is perpetuating this ideology about whiteness being better, about white women being better, about taking all these shots at black women, because this is her fans. This is the things that most white women want to say to black women, or how they feel about black women. And instead of her being mature and confronting it, or instead of her in the privacy of her relationship having real heart-to-heart discussions with Travis about, I believe he's playing a game of manipulation behind closed doors and trying to triangulate her, and using Kayla Nicole, his relationship with Kayla Nicole, to train Taylor to do certain things. I think he's just being very misogynistic and being red-pilled covertly, behind the scenes. And instead of her addressing that within the context of her relationship privately, she puts this bullshit on wax. And it's so tiring to just, people hate you because of the skin that you're in and nothing. Kayla Nicole has never done anything to Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift represents what I believe most white women and most white girls want to be. And instead of people really unpacking that and seeing that she's not good for business and not good for image, and really has a problematic stance and how she goes and where she goes, they fall right into it. A few people have caught it. You saw it in the video that I made, in the TikToks that I stitched. But let me know your thoughts upon it and how you feel Taylor Swift feels about black women, in particular this Kayla Nicole situation she has with her feelings and sentiments toward Travis Kelce's ex. Whew. Okay, that was a deep one, but necessary. What we're seeing with Taylor Swift isn't just celebrity pettiness. It's a reflection of how insecurity and racial envy get dressed up as feminine empowerment. When women compete for validation instead of connection, especially across racial lines, everybody loses. Black women shouldn't have to dim their confidence or beauty to make anyone else feel secure, period. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your voice matters in this conversation. And if you're ready to unpack your own dating patterns, elevate your emotional awareness, and step into relationships that actually honor your worth, join my exclusive coffee coaching community. Inside, you'll find guided prompts, self-reflection exercises, and interactive discussions to help you date consciously and confidently without apology. Until next time, this is your relationship coach, Janelle, reminding you, real love doesn't compete, it expands.